If you think turning 80 just means more candles on a cake, you're in for a shock. Because once you cross that invisible threshold, your body doesn't just age, it transforms. It rewires, it reprograms, it starts obeying a new biological rule book no doctor ever told you about. Imagine this: you wake up one morning, look in the mirror, and realize something feels different. Not just wrinkles, not just fatigue. It's deeper, quieter, more mysterious. Your body isn't breaking, it's adapting. It's choosing survival over performance. And what happens inside you after 80 will leave you stunned. Recent studies from Harvard Health, the Lancet, Healthy Longevity, and Nature Aging all confirm the same chilling truth. Your body crosses five irreversible biological thresholds after the age of 80. Each one changes how you move, heal, think, eat, and even sleep. And yet, nobody warns you about them. Not your doctor, not your caregiver, not even your family. But if you understand these changes, you can fight back. You can adapt before they take control. So stay with me until the very end, because number three might just explain the reason you wake up at 3 a.m. staring at the ceiling, wondering why your mind won't rest anymore. Before we begin, tell me in the comments, how old are you right now? Because what you're about to hear could change how you see your own body forever. Now let's start with number five, the first and most subtle transformation, one that begins right where your senses meet the world. Number five, your taste buds die and food stops feeling like food. By the time you turn 80, the world around you doesn't just look older, it tastes older too. Your tongue, once a vibrant orchestra of flavors, begins to go silent. Each taste bud, those microscopic sensors that once let you savor your morning coffee or the sweetness of ripe peaches, begins to flatten, fade, and disappear. According to research from the Monochemical Senses Center, by the time you reach your 80th birthday, you've lost about 70% of your taste buds. Each one lives for about 10 days before being replaced. But here's the scary part: your body stops replacing them efficiently. The result? Flavor fades, appetite drops, and eating becomes mechanical, not enjoyable. It's not just sad, it's dangerous. Because your taste buds don't just give you pleasure, they protect you. They warn you about spoiled food, toxins, and extreme salt levels. When that system shuts down, you start compensating unconsciously, adding more salt, more sugar, more flavor to feel something again. And that's when the damage begins. A 2021 Harvard Health review found that seniors with reduced taste sensitivity were 40% more likely to develop hypertension and diabetes within 5 years. Not because of age, but because they started oversalting and oversweetening their meals. It's a vicious cycle. The more you lose your sense of taste, the more you push your body toward danger. But the real shock, it's not just your tongue dying, it's your nose. Almost 80% of what we call taste is actually smell. And studies from the University of Chicago show that half of adults over 80 experience partial or total loss of smell, a condition called presbyosmia. That's why your favorite meals suddenly taste like cardboard. It's not your cooking that changed, it's your brain. Your olfactory nerves are shutting down, cutting off the flavor signals that once made food feel alive. Let me tell you a story. Dorothy was 82, a retired chef from Michigan. She once owned a small diner, famous for its soups and pies. But one day, she told me something heartbreaking. Doctor, I can't taste my own recipes anymore. When we tested her, she could only distinguish between two of the five basic flavors. To feel normal, she started adding extra salt to everything: soups, salads, even her coffee. Within 6 months, her blood pressure had skyrocketed. Her joy of cooking, gone. Her confidence, fading. All because her tongue and nose had quietly aged without warning. And this isn't rare. When your sense of flavor fades, your appetite follows. You eat less, lose weight, and risk malnutrition, all while your immune system weakens. It's not getting picky. It's biology screaming for help. But here's the hopeful twist. Researchers at Stanford University discovered that zinc-rich foods and staying hydrated can help reactivate taste receptor regeneration in older adults. Even something as simple as lemon water or a mint before meals can stimulate those fading nerves. So the next time food feels bland, don't ignore it. Your body isn't bored, it's trying to tell you something. Now, if that surprised you, wait until you hear number four, because this next change isn't about taste, it's about survival. Number four, your skin forgets how to heal. When you turn 80, your skin doesn't just wrinkle, it forgets. Forgetfulness in your skin sounds strange, but science now proves it's real. A groundbreaking Nature aging study found that elderly skin cells literally lose their molecular memory. When you were 40, a cut or bruise healed in days. At 80, that same wound might take weeks, even months to close. It's not because you're frail, it's because your cells no longer remember how to repair. Think of it like this: your skin cells are construction workers. When you were young, they had perfect blueprints. Now at 80, those blueprints are faded, smudged, incomplete. So when you get a small cut, the workers don't know where to start. Fibroblasts, the tiny builders that make collagen and repair tissue, start wandering. They arrive late, confused, or not at all. That's why bruises linger and cuts take forever to close. In one University of Pennsylvania experiment, Scientists found that wounds in adults over 80 healed 3 times slower than in middle-aged adults, even when diet and health were identical. The reason? Their cells had lost epigenetic memory, the ability to follow old repair instructions. And it's not just slow healing. The skin itself thins by almost 20% after age 80, blood vessels stiffen, collagen drops by 75%, and even a gentle bump can rupture capillaries, leaving dark purple bruises that take weeks to fade. I once treated Marjorie, 83, who showed me a paper cut that had been open for 3 weeks. I clean it every day, she said, but it just won't close. Her tests were fine, no infection, no diabetes, just lost cellular coordination. Her body had literally forgotten how to finish the repair. The medical term is epigenetic drift. Your skin's DNA isn't damaged, it's confused. It starts guessing instead of remembering. Some cells underheal, others overheal, forming rough scar tissue. And it gets worse. With age, your immune system weakens, blood flow decreases, and oxygen delivery drops. So wounds not only take longer to heal, they become more vulnerable to infection. In seniors over 80, minor skin infections can last up to 3 times longer than in middle age. But here's the ray of light. Scientists are discovering ways to reactivate the skin's healing memory. Low-level red light therapy, collagen peptides, and vitamin C all show promise in restoring fibroblast function. Even gentle daily sunlight, just 10 minutes, can trigger natural vitamin D, boosting healing by up to 50%. So when you see a bruise or slow healing wound, don't just shrug and say, that's old age. It's your skin's way of whispering, I remember less. Please help me remember more. Now, take a deep breath. Because number 3 isn't about what happens on your skin, it's what's happening inside your brain. And it may be the most unsettling one of all. You might think your mind slows down simply because you're old, but new research says otherwise. Your brain isn't slowing, it's rewiring itself in ways no one ever told you about. And that rewiring might explain everything from your forgetfulness to those restless nights. We'll dive into that next, but before we do, let me ask, how many of you watching this have noticed changes in your sleep or memory after turning 70 or 80? Drop a comment below. Your stories might help someone else realize they're not alone. All right, now let's step inside your brain. Number 3. Your brain starts rewiring itself. When you cross 80, your brain doesn't slow down. It starts rewiring itself. Not because it wants to, but because it has to. By this stage of life, you've lost nearly 20% of your brain's white matter, the neural highways that connect your thoughts, movements, and memories. Imagine a city where half the main roads are closed. Cars still move, but they take longer routes, get stuck in traffic, and sometimes end up in the wrong place. That's your brain after 80, still working, still powerful, but rerouting signals through a maze of aging circuits. Researchers at Nature Neuroscience 2022 found that this rewiring is actually a desperate act of self-preservation. As neurons die or lose efficiency, neighboring cells take over their tasks, forming improvised backup routes. It's the brain's way of keeping you functional. But those new pathways are slower and less coordinated. That's why you walk into a room and forget why, or pause mid-sentence, trying to recall a word that's just out of reach. Here's the shocking truth. It's not dementia, it's detouring. Your brain is building new roads around broken ones. But this rewiring comes with consequences. When neurons reconnect in unusual patterns, it can trigger sudden confusion, unsteady balance, or emotional volatility. A 2021 JAMA Neurology report revealed that nearly 1 in 3 adults over 80 experience mild cognitive fluctuations, temporary brain fogs caused by misfired neural activity, moments where the world feels slightly off but the mind quickly recovers. Now, here's something remarkable. Your emotional memories stay far stronger than your analytical ones. That's why at 82, you might forget a new neighbor's name but vividly recall the smell of your mother's kitchen from childhood. The limbic system, your emotional core, stays robust even when logic and memory fade. I once read about Albert, an 84-year-old engineer. He laughed and said, I can't fix a toaster anymore, but I remember the day I met my wife in 1959 like it was yesterday. That's not decline, that's prioritization. Your brain, under pressure, starts choosing emotion over data, love over logic, memory over math. But there's a darker side too. This neural remodeling can also lead to emotional misfires. You might cry more easily, feel anxious without reason, or become unusually nostalgic. It's your brain's chemistry adjusting. Dopamine, serotonin, and acetylcholine levels all dip dramatically after 80, changing how joy and calm are processed. Even your dreams change. Sleep stage transitions become erratic, cutting short deep rest, which further weakens memory consolidation. This is why many people over 80 start waking at 3 a.m., not from stress but from rewired sleep centers struggling to sync. But don't lose hope. A 2023 Harvard Medical School review found that seniors who engaged their minds daily, reading, socializing, solving puzzles, had 40% fewer signs of cognitive decline. Why? Because every conversation, every memory recall, every mental challenge strengthens those new circuits. Your brain doesn't stop growing after 80. It simply changes how it learns. So if you forget a word or a thought, don't panic. It's not a failure. It's adaptation in progress. Every moment you stay curious, You're teaching your brain how to keep building new roads through old terrain. Now let's travel deeper, not into your head this time, but into your body's foundation. Because what comes next might be the most terrifying change of all. Number 2. Your muscles begin eating themselves. Sarcopenia. It sounds unbelievable, even grotesque. But after 80, your muscles quietly start eating themselves. This process is called sarcopenia, the gradual loss of muscle tissue due to aging. And according to the Journal of Cachisa, Sarcopenia and Muscle 2023, more than 45% of adults over 80 suffer from it, often without realizing it. Every year, even if you're active, you lose about 1% of your muscle mass and 2-3% of your strength. That doesn't sound like much until you multiply it by decades. By 80, you've lost nearly half of what once powered you through life. But the truly shocking part? It's not just shrinkage, it's self consumption. Your body, desperate for energy, starts breaking down muscle tissue into amino acids to fuel the brain and heart. It's like burning your own furniture to keep the house warm. When hormones like testosterone, estrogen, and growth hormone decline, the body's ability to rebuild muscle collapses. Protein synthesis slows, recovery takes longer. The result, your muscles break down faster than they can rebuild. You don't feel it right away. It begins subtly, a shaky step, a heavier grocery bag, trouble rising from a chair. Then one day, you notice your arms look thinner, your legs weaker. It's not fatigue, it's biology, silently cannibalizing its reserves. One of my favorite case studies was Henry, 83, a retired farmer from Iowa. He said, "Doc, I'm not tired, I'm hollow." His muscles had literally been metabolized, converted to glucose by his own body. When I explained, "Henry, your body is feeding on itself," he just shook his head. "That's a hell of a way to survive," he said. He was right, because muscle isn't just for strength, it's a storage bank for longevity. When you lose muscle, you lose balance, immune defense, and even brain support. Muscles produce myokines, tiny proteins that communicate with your brain, heart, and immune system. Without them, your body's command center goes silent. That's why muscle loss often leads to faster aging, not just physically, but mentally. A Johns Hopkins study found that seniors with stronger leg muscles had better memory and lower dementia risk. Because strong muscles mean strong blood flow, and strong blood flow means more oxygen to the brain. But here's the most frightening truth of all. Once sarcopenia begins, it accelerates exponentially. Every bit of muscle you lose makes it harder to move, and every bit of movement you skip makes you lose even more muscle. It's a loop, a slow, invisible spiral toward frailty, but you can break it. Even light resistance training, using your own body weight or elastic bands, can reactivate dormant muscle fibers. Protein intake becomes crucial, at least 1.2 grams per kilogram of body weight daily. And walking isn't enough. Walking preserves, but only resistance rebuilds. Science now calls muscle the longevity organ. Because when you protect your muscle, you protect everything else: heart, brain, immunity, even mood. So if you're over 80, every small act of movement is rebellion against decline. Stand, stretch, lift, move. Tell your body, don't shut down yet. I still need you. Now, for the final revelation, because the last change is perhaps the most haunting one of all. It happens in silence, in the dark. While you think you're resting, number 1. Your sleep clock flips. You've probably felt it already. Falling asleep too early, waking up before dawn, feeling exhausted at noon and alert at midnight. This isn't random, it's biological chaos. After 80, your sleep clock, the circadian rhythm, flips. Your body's internal timer that once kept your days and nights in balance starts losing its sense of time. Researchers at Harvard Medical School discovered that the brain's master clock, a cluster of 20,000 neurons behind your eyes called the suprachiasmatic nucleus, begins to deteriorate. That tiny control center governs when you sleep, wake, eat, and even heal. But with age, it stops responding to light correctly. Your eyes absorb less sunlight, your melatonin production drops, and your body stops knowing when it's day or night. It's not insomnia, it's internal disorientation. That's why so many seniors say, "I can't sleep through the night anymore." Their brains aren't restless, they're confused. A 2022 sleep medicine review found that over 60% of adults above 80 experience what scientists call advanced sleep phase syndrome. They fall asleep early, wake up between 2 to 4 a.m., and struggle to stay alert during the day. This isn't just frustrating, it's dangerous. Because deep sleep is when your brain cleans itself. During that time, cerebrospinal fluid washes away toxins, including beta amyloid, the protein linked to Alzheimer's. When sleep becomes shallow, that cleansing process fails. The result: more toxins, more confusion, more fatigue. Evelyn, 82, described it perfectly. "I feel like my nights and days traded places." Her brain wasn't broken, her rhythm was. After a few weeks of morning sunlight therapy and evening dim lights, she told me something powerful. "It's like my body found its clock again." Light exposure, consistent meal timing, and short evening walks can retrain your body's rhythm. Melatonin supplements or magnesium glycinate also help gently guide sleep back to stability. But here's what few people realize: your sleep rhythm affects everything. When it falters, Your hormones, blood sugar, digestion, and immune system all fall out of sync. It's like running a house where every clock shows a different time. Nothing works together anymore. So if you're waking up at strange hours, don't ignore it. It's not weakness, it's a signal that your brain's timekeeper is losing calibration and needs light, structure, and care to reset. Because after 80, even your sleep isn't automatic. It becomes a daily negotiation between your body and time itself. The final truth, what aging after 80 really means. So there you have it, the 5 hidden transformations your body goes through once you turn 80. Your taste buds die, food loses meaning, and danger hides in blandness. Your skin forgets how to heal. Wounds linger, bruises bloom, and repair slows. Your brain rewires itself, choosing emotion over logic, memory over detail. Your muscles eat themselves. Power fades, balance weakens, independence shrinks. Your sleep clock flips, time itself becomes distorted. But here's the message that matters most. These changes don't mean you're broken, they mean you're alive. Your body isn't giving up, it's adapting, shifting strategies for survival. Each change is a message, a reminder that your body still wants to live, even if it speaks a new biological language. You can still fight back, not with denial, but with awareness. You can retrain your taste, rebuild your muscle, rewire your mind, and reset your sleep. Science now calls this adaptive longevity. It's the ability to teach your body how to thrive even when the old systems fade. And that's what the new generation of seniors is proving every day. Look at the data. Seniors who strength train twice a week cut their mortality risk by 46%. Those who get morning sunlight improve sleep and cognition within weeks. On to those who socialize daily show slower cognitive decline by up to 70%. You're not powerless, you're programmable. So here's my challenge to you. If you're over 80, don't just age, adapt. If you're 60 or 70, start preparing now. Your future self will thank you for every step, every nutrient, every sunrise you catch. Because aging doesn't mean fading, it means changing chapters. And this chapter, your eighth decade, can still be filled with strength, clarity, and grace. Which of these 5 changes have you noticed in yourself or a loved one? Tell me in the comments below. Your story could help someone else wake up to what's really happening inside their body. And if this opened your eyes, give it a thumbs up, share it with a friend or parent, and subscribe for more science backed videos on aging, longevity, and vitality. Because getting older isn't the end of the story, it's the beginning of understanding how extraordinary your body truly is, even after 80. And never stop teaching your body how to live.